stray. A simple world where love would bloom in every corner of the living room. Oh, the golden thread, it ties us tight through black and white into the light. A real love, it's always there. Classic moments beyond compare.
Welcome to The Golden Thread, lessons from classic TV. I'm your host, Bob. What if the thing that finally makes a child feel safe isn't words or promises or rules, but the quiet moment someone sees them, loves them, and finally says so? This is Major Dad, Season 2, Episode 24, called Together, written by Earl Pomerantz, directed by Michael Lembeck, and aired May 6, 1991. And it's one of the most tender, beautifully earned emotional resolutions I've seen on network television. Well, it's one of. When love wears a uniform. Major John D. McGillis is a career Marine, a man of structure, of order, of protocol, played with quiet steel by Gerald McRaney. When he marries liberal journalist Polly Cooper, played by the radiant Shanna Reed, he doesn't just gain a wife. He gains her 3 daughters, Elizabeth, Robin, and Casey. This isn't your typical love story. It's a negotiation between worlds. A man whose identity is rooted in hierarchy and tradition now lives in a house full of teddy bears, guitars, free expression, and feelings. So many feelings. And through 2 seasons, we watch him fumble, soften, and stretch, learning to be more than just sir, learning to be dad. But up until this episode, that title hadn't been made official. There were still invisible walls, and in Together, he tries to tear those last ones down. A loving proposal and a gentle condition. It begins with a simple act of love, guys. The Major wants to adopt the girls. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. He wants to legally bind himself to them, not just emotionally, but in the eyes of the world, to make it clear, you are mine and I am yours. When he tells Polly, she lights up with emotion, but she responds with the grace and wisdom only a mother could bring. Of course, the girls will have to approve. She knows the truth. Legal documents don't mean anything if the heart isn't ready. And so, what begins as an act of bureaucratic love slowly unfolds into something much deeper. Reactions from the heart. Robin and Casey, being younger, are immediately excited. Their bond with the Major is open, unguarded, and they already think of him as their father anyway. But Elizabeth is thoughtful, older, and still quietly protecting the memory of her biological father. She's not rude, she doesn't rebel, but when Polly gently brings up the idea of adoption, Elizabeth withdraws. I don't want to talk about it, she says. There's no tantrum, just a wall. And Polly, bless her, she respects that. She's a good mama. Then here's where the show does something I think is brilliant. Rather than having the Major confront Elizabeth or try to convince her with speeches, they let something else do the talking. A photo album. The youngest two are going through a photo album they're making for the major, and they're putting memories of each one of them that they're in. And they ask Elizabeth if she would like to add to it, and well, she's just not ready to do that. It's got the holidays, the small victories, the ordinary days that they became a family. It's a silent testimony, proof that this man has been here all along, learning, loving, and showing up. But even then, Elizabeth still doesn't say yes. Because here's the truth. Even when the evidence of love is in front of us, sometimes the heart takes a little longer to catch up. The scene that breaks this dam, well, that's coming. The real moment doesn't come with paper or photos. It comes with a single trembling truth. The family gathers, the young girls go to give their album to the major, and Elizabeth says, wait, I've got more to add. And then the major finally opens up. He talks about why he wants this, why it matters. He isn't trying to convince or control. He's just telling the truth. His voice cracks. And then, after all the structure, the discipline, the restraint, he says the words that undoes all of them. I love you. Not shouted, not demanded, just offered. And that's when it happens. Elizabeth looks up, and something inside her, something guarded and sore and so long untouchable, well, it breaks. But it's not pain. It's release. Tears fall. Not because she's overwhelmed, but because she finally believes that it's safe to say yes. This episode, guys, this could have taken the easy road. It could have wrapped things up with a hug and a laugh and a bit of music. But Together doesn't flinch. It understands something essential. Love that is earned is always stronger than love that's assumed. And healing, real healing, takes time, presence, and patience. Elizabeth's journey is the journey of every child who's been hurt, of every person who needs to feel love, not just hear about it. The Major doesn't force his way in. He simply stands in the doorway of her heart and waits. A legacy of kind writing is what this is. Credit must be given to Earl Pomerantz, who wrote this episode with such quiet brilliance. He understood that sitcoms, like we talk about here, don't have to shout to be heard, that emotion doesn't need melodrama, that the still moments often carry the most weight. And Michael Lembeck's direction lets every pause breathe. He knows exactly when to pull back and when to lean in. Together, they crafted something that still echoes all these years later. Had me in tears, guys. At the very end, it's not just the paperwork that binds them. It's not the ceremony. It's not the title. It's a single moment of being seen, of being chosen. The Major chooses Elizabeth, and finally, she chooses him back. That's the golden thread, guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening to The Golden Thread, Lessons from Classic TV, brought to you by the Classic TV Preservation Society, founded by Herbie J. Pilato. I'm your host, Bob. Join me next time as we pull another thread from television's rich tapestry and see what it unravels in us today. Thank you. Later.
Walking down the lanes of yesterday, where laughter echoes and hearts don't stray. A simple world where love would bloom in every corner of the living room. Oh, the golden thread.